We will begin tonight's public hearing. And first, I'd like to say good evening to the honorable city council members, to mayor, to our city attorney, to our chief of staff, and to the administrative staff that are here in the audience. Today's date is Monday, May 6, 2024, and this is the City of Romulus City Council special meeting public hearing. And this hearing is for the public to have an opportunity to provide input on the proposed 2024-25 fiscal year city budget in accordance with Chapter 9, Section 9.3 of the Romulus City Charter. And at this time, we will have roll call. Councilwoman Abdo.
Here.
Councilman Barton is
Excuse.
Councilwoman Roscoe, I haven't heard from, she's excused, okay. Councilwoman Talley?
Here.
Councilman Wadsworth?
Here.
Councilwoman Williams?
Here.
And Councilman Wilson?
Here.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum for tonight's public hearing. Our public hearing agenda for this evening is as follows. Number 1, roll call. Number 2, agenda. 3, public hearing discussion, the City of Romulus 2024-25 fiscal year budget. Number 4 is public comment, and number 5 is adjournment. And a motion will be in order to accept tonight's public hearing agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the public hearing agenda as presented.
Support.
Accept the public hearing meeting as mentioned, Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Councilwoman Talley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Abdo,
Yes.
Councilman Wadsworth.
Here. Yes, I
Oh,
said.
you made the motion. Wait, Wilson,
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the agenda, we have discussion for the City of Romulus 2024-25 fiscal year budget. And to lead off in our discussion is our Director of Finance, Maria Ferris. Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, elected officials, and administrative staff. As stated, the purpose of this public hearing tonight, May 6th.
Yeah, we can't hear you, sweetie. Oh, my goodness.
That's
We heard
loud
you.
enough.
1 second. So I was just informed, I guess, that, when you speak into the mic, that's what will activate the mic. So we're going to have to speak, not really close, but just make sure we speak directly into the mic to activate the mic. So if we speak too soft, it may not trigger it. I was just informed of that today. All right.
All right, hopefully you can hear me now. The public hearing tonight, May 6th, is being held, as the clerk stated, according to the Romulus City Charter 9, Section 9.3. Previously, we had study sessions that were held on April 8th, as well as on Monday, April 22nd. Both of these were at 6:30. Currently, right now, on the screen is our presentation from the April 22nd budget study session. At that time, we discussed the general fund, other major funds, as well as any new funds or that were established or closed. Also, too, on that day, we talked about the mandated chart of accounts conversion. At this point right now, the conversion is complete. Also, too, when we were talking regarding the budget, we were talking about increased expenses that were in the police department, infrastructure, as well as in the motor vehicle fund. And this was to preserve the city's aging fleet. When we go through the budget process each year, our main objective has always been to preserve fund balance. Also, too, asking for expenditures that are deemed absolutely necessary. The purpose of this meeting, as we stated a few times, is to hear from the public. So we do have the last preliminary budget presentation here, and if there's any questions from the public, I'm here to answer them. Since there's no one here from the public with any questions, I'd like to just go through the next steps according to our budget calendar that is presented each year. The General Appropriations Act for the city and the 34th District Court will be brought to City Council for the fiscal year 24-25 budget adoption on Monday, May 13th, along with the associated millage rates. After that, the city budget will become effective July 1st, 2024. All elected officials will receive a hard copy of the 2024 adopted budget, and directors and assistant directors will receive a hard copy only by request. There will be a digital version of the actual budget available for directors and assistant directors in our public drive, as well as it will be posted on our website. Is there any questions?
No.
I guess I have one question. If I could, through the chair. Mayor, you gave us a copy of the 34th District funding agreement. Is there a sunset date on that, or do we renegotiate, or no?
Well, the agreement says that with 1 year's notice, we could terminate the agreement and that would be renegotiated. Well, you'd be terminating the existing agreement to renegotiate a different agreement, it's presumably. But it's a 1 year time period in there.
Have we looked into that?
Well, and we're watching what other district courts are doing as well, because this is a statewide issue, right? So we want to be cautious on how we do that. So I thought the first part, and, good strategy would be to get all 5 communities that go through our 34th District Court to the table and open that direct line of communication. In the past, there hasn't been a good line of communication. As it stands, the city of Romulus alone can't withstand this burden. The financial program, it's not going to work. So we are in the process right now of scheduling that meeting with those communities, figuring out the way forward, letting them know where we're at, just sharing data and being transparent with them. We've been tracking that data. Maria and her team have been tracking that data very hard for the last 3 years to watch where we're at and where we need to be. So I'm looking forward to additional conversations coming out of those meetings from the other communities. And like I said, 35th District Court, we've been in contact with them, what's working over there in Northfield and what's not. And they did renegotiate their agreement, and it's actually not worked out for the best. So we're trying to learn from what others are doing. We're talking to the state court administrator. We just want to make sure if we do make a change or we modify some things in the agreement, we do that with the best interest. We make sure that the city of Romulus is not going to be burdened in 20 years and 30 years. Yeah. So yeah, we're looking at all different things right now that are on the table, working with the court and, like I said, the other communities, but we want to start having that line of communication with all the communities and put something in place that hasn't been there before.
Okay, I have one other question. When one of these municipalities write a ticket, did they go to their local city hall to pay, or do they come to the court to pay?
You want to take that one?
If it's paid within 14 days, they can do it at the local municipality they log into the court, though.
So it still comes to us.
So the money is still going to the court. But under this agreement, there's a difference on the amount that Romulus gets depending upon whether or not they pay in the first 14 days or not. And the theory of that, back when we negotiated it, was that at that point in time, there's been no effort by the court, so they haven't had any expenses of operating that ticket and handling, processing that. But if the person lets it go beyond that 14 days, which is a time period in which you can voluntarily admit responsibility and pay a ticket, then you now get into the cost is greater. So there is some cost that goes to the city even when they pay in the first 14 days. And they do have to pay they do collect the FUF money for the bond payment on those 14 days tickets too. But the,
So on a regular basis, we have five or six municipalities. Are they sending us a monthly check for what they've taken in?
no, because those payments are made to the court. Even if you're doing it within
All
the
right,
first
yeah,
14
okay.
days,
Never mind.
you're doing it by using your credit card on a computer screen, and the cash goes to the court.
All right, fine, thank you.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Mary, you said your schedule, has a meeting been scheduled? Is it in the, you said that last week too, that was in the process. I wondered if we have a scheduled date for the meeting with the 5
Jill was working to set it up. I'm not sure if we have a date yet. We were waiting to hear back from the Sumter. They're the last community to respond. Everybody else has responded and eager to have this meeting. And I don't know if we set a date yet, but the only response we were waiting on as of today was Sumter.
Perhaps we need to pursue that more.
Yeah.
Okay.
To the mayor, can you find out before the budget is brought to us for a final approval? Up under the court, it says probation, juvenile, and work program. Do we still have the work program, or what type of work program is that court running?
They disbanded the work program when COVID hit, for obvious reasons, that we couldn't expose people. And there was also some changes in legislation at the state level that really, for lack of a better term, pulled the teeth of the court. But they're trying to implement that program right now. We were in conversations today with the chief judge about how we could get that crew back to work, because there's obviously areas in the city where we can pick up trash and debris. So they're eager to put something back to work and have that program going, but it's not, right now it's not running, but we are looking towards putting something back in play very soon.
So the proposed 6,000 is in case the program is reintroduced?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any more discussion from council concerning tonight's public hearing concerning the budget? Any more questions from council?
Any more questions from the council?
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. On the agenda, calls for public comment, and this is the portion of the agenda for those who are in the audience and who would like to address the city council regarding tonight's public hearing agenda. To do so, please raise your hand, and after being acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium and state your name. Please note that you will have 3 minutes to speak, and any additional time will be upon the consent of the chairperson. Is there anyone from the public at this time that would like to address the city council? Madam Chair, no one has acknowledged that.
We'll close it out.
So noted. Takes us to number 5 on the agenda, adjournment.
I second the motion to adjourn.
To adjourn the meeting, motion made by Wadsworth, second by Councilwoman Talley to adjourn. Councilwoman Abdo?
Yes.
Councilman Wilson?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
The next meeting, which will be our regular council meeting, will begin promptly at 7:30.
Thank you.
You still have to call their name. You did when they responded, but you still have to go through the. Trying to keep on your toes.
I like that.